This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. The Colts and the Texans doing battle here. Another AFC South showdown. Houston clinches the AFC South if they win and Jacksonville loses, but they need Jacksonville to lose for that to be the case. Colts no longer starting Phillip Rivers. They're going to be starting Riley Leonard. I'll talk about that in a second. I want to hear from you and Houston's side of things first when we preview this game.
So I think the fun part of this matchup is going to be C.J. Stroud and this Texans passing attack against Lou Anarumo and what he decides to do in coverage. And what Anarumo has done since the Colts have traded for Sauce Gardner is he's gotten a lot more aggressive. It's a lot more man coverage. When Sauce Gardner is on the field for this Colts team, they run man coverage 38% of the time. That would be second in the league if they did it for the entire season. When he is off the field this season, or he wasn't on their team earlier in the season, that goes down to 25%. Why is that relevant? I think Sauce Gardner is going to get the shadow coverage against number 12, Nico Collins, the Texans' best receiver by far, and they're going to make the Texans go to other options. C.J. Stroud, meanwhile, this year has really struggled throwing into man coverage with just a 54.5 passing grade, and Nico Collins is the only receiver, actually only player on the Texans team, receiver, tight end, or running back who has at least a 70 receiving grade against man coverage. If I'm Anarumo, I'm throwing different looks up front, trying to pressure C.J. Stroud, and I'm going with man coverage behind it. Sauce Gardner against Nico Collins is the big battle, but Stroud is going to have to find other options that get open in one-on-one battles. If it's Jaden Higgins, if it's Jalen Knoll, if it's Xavier Hutchinson, Dalton Schultz, somebody else is going to have to separate one-on-one because it's not always going to be Collins against Gardner.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun matchup for the Texans as a bit of a tune-up game, I guess, if you will, going into the postseason, whether they're going to win this division or not. I think that you mentioned a really good scenario that could give them some confidence going into the playoffs if they're really able to take advantage of the Colts playing their best in how they want to play as a man coverage team with him out there. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. On the Colts side of things, I mentioned this in the Monday show on offense. We've talked about the fact that they have to run the ball. They have to run the ball well. They just do not win football games if they don't have, I can't remember it wasn't exact. For the Colts, was it exactly the same as it was for the Lions that we were talking about, where like it's just like 100 design yards and less, their record is terrible versus if they're able to get more than 100 yards designed?
I think I have them at 1-7 when they're under 100 yards. The one win I believe came against the Raiders.
So then, yeah, it's basically that line. So I didn't want to bring that up and say that again. You've brought that up, and we've talked about that so many times this season. They're a team that has to run the ball well anyways, whether that was with Daniel Jones, their starting quarterback, or certainly the aftermath of what we have seen since. But what I'm really looking to see with this Colts offense is something that I pointed out on the Monday show, and that was Phillip Rivers having a time to throw of 2.2 seconds, and yet an average depth of target of almost 9 yards at 8.9. That is what I said on the Monday show, the Tua Tagovailoa strategy, where everything that you are doing, you are predetermining your read based on your pre-snap recognition. You're looking at what defenses are doing pre-snap, and that ball is coming out of your hands so fast, you really don't have the ability to adjust to whatever the coverage might be doing post-snap. So if you're fooled at all whatsoever post-snap, that could be really dangerous. And that's how Tua was leading the NFL in turnover-worthy plays before he ended up getting benched. That's just a strategy that's so dangerous, and you're playing with fire so much. Riley Leonard is a different type of quarterback. He has good mobility with his legs. He has not just escapability, but also rushing ability as well. And so naturally, his time to throw is a lot higher. When you look at the last couple of years that he was at Duke and when he was at Notre Dame, his time to throw was right around that 2.85, 2.9 average, which is a different game plan when you have a full half second more than what Phillip Rivers was doing when he was getting the ball out of his hands. Because remember, like that's a 2.2 time to throw average There were times where he was getting the ball out of his hands before 2 seconds, and you know that was the case, and it's just so fast getting the ball out of your hands. There's not really a lot of time for routes to manifest, for guys to adjust to coverages, all that kinds of stuff. So I just think it's a different game plan with Riley Leonard out there, and I think that he can execute it better, and I think that there's actually more available to him with that ability to hold on to the ball for a little bit longer. So I think it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be fun, but I just don't trust Riley Leonard and Shane Steichen in this offense to sort of have a glorified live practice against the best defense in the NFL. That's a rough test. If this would have been against anybody other than the Texans, I think we would have had some good fun here, but I'm saying Texans 21, Colts 10 is the final score.
I'm going Texans also 23-13. A big thing about Riley Leonard, too, is whether he was in college or even this year in the NFL, he has always felt more comfortable as a passer when he is blitzed. There's more open windows, and it makes him react faster. When he has to sit back there against a standard rush, he's really struggled as a passer throughout his career, college and NFL. That's a problem against the Texans team that doesn't blitz very much and doesn't have to blitz very much with that elite pass rush that they have. So I do think eventually the Colts just aren't going to be able to score enough points. The Texans offense, a bit inconsistent. This would be a good game for them to find a little bit more of a consistent rhythm. Really just one good quarter against the Chargers last week, but I think they take care of business here, and they're just waiting out the result of that Jacksonville game.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok gurus sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.